from the workshop floor.
We are fixing DIY issues that you guys sent in.
You can check one more DIY off of that DIY to-do list. Can I say something so bold?
I know what I would do.
Yep, thank you, Rosh.
So brutal that it's not even centered on
I
the wall.
know. That's like honestly the hardest part of all of this.
Oh my goodness.
I think our job is done here.
You did an amazing job starting, and we just needed to keep going. So several weeks ago, we asked you guys on the show if you had any DIY projects that were stumping you, or if there was any interior design advice you needed from us, and you guys answered. You submitted a bunch of problems that we are gonna hopefully solve today.
Big thanks to everybody who submitted their DIY SOSs. We got so many awesome ones, and I can't wait to dive in and tackle them all, as many as we can.
Yeah, as many as we can.
As many as we can.
And if you want to submit your DIY SOSs, we have a link down below.
To answer your question, we will be solving 5 DIY problems of yours today.
Bring them on.
Let's go.
Bring them on. And speaking of design advice, Becky, seems like you took some notes from your color analysis that you took a couple weeks ago.
I know. I said I was gonna do it. I think it came up when we were doing. Oh.
Sorry, it just looks so good. I love it.
We were doing a Pinterest game, I think, and my Pinterest board was up, and there was like really dark colors, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. What do you think?
We love.
Fantastic.
And like you're changing all of your colors, like even this shirt color. I'm like, this is new shirt.
I know these blues and these purples are apparently a me color, but I'm so curious what you guys think.
In my peripherals right now, I kind of feel like I'm not sitting next to you. Like that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
But obviously it's you.
And when you walked into the office, like everybody on the team, who most are OG TSG fans, are like, whoa, like old Becky just walked in because this is the color of hair, or at least closer, that you had when we started the channel.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, we love.
Like, I love a good rebrand. I love a good room redesign. So this is like adjacent, you know? I love a good project.
Yeah. Okay, let's fix this face.
Kira writes, I have an ugly wall between my bedroom and bathroom doors. There's an air vent that I can't cover up, and it isn't even center on the wall. I'm open to different ideas. I like earthy tones and unique pieces. There's a lot of wood tones going on in my apartment.
This is a problem I feel like is super common, and we've seen a lot of these vents on walls. And how do you handle them, especially when you can't cover them up?
Yeah.
It's so brutal that it's not even centered on the wall.
That's like honestly the hardest part of all of this.
Not even an inch next to that door frame.
No. I have a pretty good idea, but I'm wondering, like, should we all come up with our ideas separately? Should we pitch 4 ideas?
Well, I would love to hear yours. I don't know that I even have something right now.
Yeah, we can bounce around.
I have a vent on the wall, a cold air return, and that's where I want to put my media cabinet. So my media cabinet is open backed, and it has a radio weave cane at the front. So it's like still allows airflow through that. My thought is, and she said she has a lot of wood tones in her apartment, what if this whole wall is like some kind of wood accent wall with like a radio weave or some kind of caning that lets the vent go through, but then also it's kind of like a accent wall at the end of the hallway in wood tones?
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was thinking like taking inspiration from the bathroom, like a timbre sort of slat wall type of thing. And maybe even if you painted, it sounds off because like the rest of the space is neutral, but if you painted that wall black and painted like the panel black and then put up like a wood tone in front of it kind of disappear.
Yeah.
I like that idea too.
It's really smart.
Well, which one will it be? Do we have any other ideas?
One idea would be to like put a shelf along the top so that you kind of like can close off the area and make what's underneath it the moment.
Oh.
And then on top of the shelf, you could do some added decor or maybe extra storage.
And especially things hanging down.
Could be cute.
To just like a plant hanging down to disguise the vent a little bit.
Yeah.
How do you take it on and off? All the timbres.
Well,
Tell us.
in my head, it was just like a panel that you have built and it gets like slotted in there. What it could hang, it could just friction fit potentially, but then you're kind of running into damaging your walls.
I've never really heard of that, but I kind of love it. Friction fit.
If it wasn't that tight to the space, but you put some magnets on the back where the panel is, assuming that they will stick to the panel.
Yeah.
Then that would kind of hold it up.
I think there's something interesting we could do with your idea of putting a shelf up there. Because if it was a shelf, then you could make like a giant panel that like just hooks on or something that's removable.
Here's the timber. So our timber pieces go on our wood top piece like this. And then in this top wood piece is where we would add little eyelet hooks. So like little hooks. Yeah, thank you, Rosh.
Really
and then on the top of your shelf is where you put the C portion of that hook. So then this whole panel can, ready? Let's hook it on our shelf. Oh, hook it on the shelf. Oh, I need to change my air filter. Oh, hook it off the shelf. Black blends in, but it could be another dark color.
Like a very dark green.
Like
you like earthy tones?
I like earthy tones and unique pieces, lots of wood. Okay, we're hitting all of the boxes here.
Unique pieces go on top of the shelf. Yeah, your collection of things.
Yeah. Whew, I think our job is done here. Yeah.
I love this idea. I really hope that you try it. I really do.
Yeah, we went there, so. We built our fireplace, but it doesn't feel finished, and we do not know why. Something we just can't put our finger on, but it just feels unfinished.
Guys, we're on the TV.
I love when this happens.
Are we on the TV?
We are.
Oh, we're on this one. But not, oh, we are on this one too. Vote
Get
for
it,
Kelsey.
girl.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay, and then also we're going for a traditional, vintage, cozy, cottage, and English core aesthetic. You built this fireplace. This is so beautiful.
Great start though with the wood for the mantle. I think seeing all the knots in it really is heading us in the right direction to match your style here.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's so many things you could do here.
My immediate thought was to add texture to it. But like here in the studio space, there are textured walls just done with joint compound, super easy. You kind of just lay it on kind of haphazardly until you like the look of it. And then it dries, you paint over it, boom, you get instant texture.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is the focal point of your room. Like, I'm assuming there isn't some other big, colorful, or detailed element that is trying to pull your eye. So if this is our focal point, we can lean into that. I would either paint this fireplace with texture or not, a color or something. You could also tile too, which is very vintage, but that's another beast, a little bit more complicated, a little bit more permanent. If you know me, I've like painted my fireplace like 5 times. You can change it up every season.
I recognize what you're saying. This is probably the focal point of the space, and it's feeling like it needs to be more like focused on. So maybe we need to center it better with like maybe some sconces on the side.
Yes.
Make it more of a moment where your eye is going to like lead to.
I would suggest a frame for this TV. I think that's the perfect style for this space, and not in a dark color. Like a lighter wood or like even a gold. There's like vintage frames you can get for them or make for them even that I think would make it blend into the wall a little more, so it's not what we're staring at. And then to your point, having things lower into the side of the fireplace to really make it feel like a more grounded, larger moment.
What about the base of the fireplace?
You could do something around the base, like a tile, to just make it more of a mantle.
Like a hearth.
Like a hearth.
A hearth, I think, right?
I've always pronounced it hearth, but that could also just
well,
be wrong.
That's fine. I'm in the right realm.
I love learning new words.
Hearth.
Hearth.
Okay, hoth. I cannot say it without.
But you got a good British accent.
Yeah.
So you,
Hoth.
Yeah.
Well, you need that. It's hearth. You
Just
need the R in it.
Hoth. Sorry.
You're like
I simply can't.
a moth.
Simply can't.
Yeah. Anyways.
What were we doing?
So if you add like a faux hearth, because you obviously don't need it, it's a electric fireplace, but then also putting like a vintage ornate looking fireplace cover in front of it too, and really make it a moment, take away that modern element, because it doesn't seem like it's your style so much.
I've seen them on Marketplace from time to time. It's like a brass rail that goes along the bottom of the fireplace.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've never been able to use those. Yeah, that's a vibe. And it can be very close. It doesn't have to like stick out far.
You know what's on our fake one? The mesh sliding curtain.
Yeah.
If there was one that was like an outside mount that you could do. And it's like the way that we put curtains up sometimes, and we know they're meant to always be open. Like they're just decorative to frame a window. You know, you don't need to have an actual like mesh curtain on this. It's not shooting out sparks, but it could be placed in such a way that it's always meant to be open on either side just to frame.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Because that is like traditional.
What about the color of this?
I want to leave it light, personally.
Yeah?
And I like the texturing idea a lot. That adds visual interest. And I think there's other ways to ground without adding like a dark paint.
I'm kind of wondering about like a beigey, like so it looks like English stone, you know? Because that's what she said our style was, like English cottage. Think about like English cottages are made of like cobblestones, like the holiday cottage, right?
Yeah.
So like an off-white.
There's no wrong answers.
Right now. Well.
What?
I was gonna say, I was gonna say right now, but that's not true. I think there are some
Is Hearth the
ways
wrong
we
answer?
shouldn't be going. Not the ways we have been going.
Okay, got it.
There are ways.
So I'm adding a stone hearth.
Hoth.
Yes, hearth.
Hearth, yeah.
Okay, I feel like this is a really smart way to make this fireplace look less contemporary modern and more vintage cozy.
Yeah, and original to what you're going for.
Yeah.
You did an amazing job starting, and we just needed to keep going.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a great DIY right there. So full faith that you can continue on with the DIY solutions.
And like nice to realize that it's missing something, because I feel like this is a very common problem that people have. Like you make over a space and you're like what? Like you actually just don't know. Like what is missing? Maybe it's like decor on a coffee table. Maybe it's that the scale is wrong. Like there's just something off and it's hard to know what. So also there's a really good plug for our Ultimate Room Makeover course, because I feel like that course really helps with taking things to the next level, adding the character, adding the story that will help pull a space together.
It's a really great promo. Do they get a Kelsey's code?
Give them a code.
The people want a code.
Give them a code.
Well, what's a code? You are special.
You are special.
The code is you are special.
You are special.
You guys are so special. Kia, I found this in a thrift bin, like I do most of my clothing items. And I just want to give praise to maybe one of the only non-problematic men in children's television so far
that we know
of that hasn't come to the surface.
Check the date on this episode.
Okay, so officially our code is
You are special.
And that'll get you 20% off, because Mr. Rogers was born March 20th, 1928. Okay, let's move on.
So Samantha wrote us, we bought an old china hutch for our basement bar to hold a coffee bar and antique glassware. We need to address wallpaper for the damaged drawers, choose matching hardware, and decide whether to restore its wood tone or paint it green to match the laundry area cabinets. Oh. This feels like a Kelsey dilemma.
This kind of does sound like a Kelsey dilemma.
Purchased this cabinet so it can have like a coffee bar, because we don't drink coffee, but our visitors do. There's also damage clearly here. We're pretty positive it's veneer. So we might be able to just sand it off. We are contemplating on either what type of wallpaper to do for it, and two, if we want to keep it wood or if we want to paint it green, because we will be doing in our laundry area cabinets, which is where this is located. I'm also contemplating on just doing the wallpaper in the drawers and nowhere else. So this piece is actually located at our bar, which we are currently in the process of finishing.
Oh, that's fun.
Which are these beautiful green chairs that we were able to thrift. And the walls are black in the rest of our basement. And we have that wood treatment around the entire perimeter. But we would really appreciate any help to figure out this dilemma. Thanks.
Sweet.
Cool.
I love a challenge.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to take a vote off the bat.
Oh, about what?
What are we voting?
Painting or keep it wood?
Well, I'm not against painting sometimes, but that green paint chip really threw me.
I cut to back to Becky's face when she saw the green paint chip.
My vote would be leave it wood.
Yeah.
But paint maybe that back wall on the inside, right behind the glass, that green color.
100%.
The thoughtfulness of this, right? Like, we don't drink coffee, but we want this experience for our guests to be able to drink coffee. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Number one host right here.
Yeah.
There was definitely talk about wallpaper a lot, so I'm curious what pattern she's picturing, because I would almost suggest that for the back instead of like a solid green.
That was my thought too. Like, I mean, my thought overall was keep it wood, but then in the back here, do a different color. Because that just also gives it so much depth when since it is glass cupboards.
Does any part of you think that something in like a black? Only because they've got like the two-tone going on in the basement with the black on top and that wood tone. So it kind of...
So say that dark green one on the very right. If like the pinstripes were like black.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I did think about the black too, the more she was talking about how many black elements, like the bar top is going to be black and they've half painted the walls black. Do not do this Beetlejuice thing though. This is aggressive.
Beetlejuice.
Unless you love it, then by all means. Go back. Get out of this neon. I feel like there's something here we can start with.
There's this wallpaper. Is this close?
Could be. Yeah. I wonder if like up here this should be black because you were talking about she has the two-tone wall. Like should these four be black and then this is a funky wallpaper?
That could be cool.
Okay, so you're gonna draw up some wallpaper for us to see how we're liking the placement. But let's talk about hardware because I know that was another big question of hers.
I think all these lower ones are okay. These ones are like a little vintage leaning. Maybe too much for her style.
You could literally copy because she showed that black one. This kind of got like the spade ends.
What would you call that? Like it's like barn.
Yeah.
Like gate.
Something? Yeah, like old like gate handles. The Google search this image feature is like life-changing. I would recommend it.
Oh my god, Becky's teaching me so many things right now.
You just right-click on any picture and it's an option now.
Search with Google Lens and then look, it pulls up this sidebar.
Oh my goodness.
Rachel's mood boarding just got 10 times better.
And faster.
Yeah.
Oh.
Becky, did this come with the new hair or?
This is a feature that Pinterest has always had. Which I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yes,
you can be like, shop this picture and then you can select.
Yeah, that's true.
And I've always been like, oh, like, hail Pinterest, like, you are supreme because this is the best search feature.
Yeah.
But now, Google's on it. I'm like,
Google been on it.
Google's doing things.
Okay, great. So we're going to pull these to match the other cabinet pulls in the space.
And then what were we saying we're going to do with the lower handles?
I think, even though she maybe disagrees, I do think they match the style she's got going on.
I agree.
Currently.
Yeah.
They do feel vintage. And similar to the old brass doorknobs she showed, but maybe we just don't like the color because it's too silver gray.
Yeah.
And then I think, yeah, your instinct to wallpaper inside all of the drawers makes a lot of sense. That's super fun. And if we need to cover damage anyways, that's great. And also, if we're suggesting wallpaper in just a part of this, you're probably going to have some extra anyways.
Yeah.
Waste not. Let's fill those drawers.
So I'm going to make a little rule about DIY SOS.
Okay.
You have to do it and you have to send us photos. When we design the rooms in inferior interiors, I get it. It's harder. It's a bigger room. Yeah. We're talking about DIY SOS problems. These are more manageable problems, things that are very current, need help immediately. So we're gonna need receipts.
Yeah, come on, Samantha, show us what you do.
Yeah, even if it's different than what we suggest, I just want to see what you did. I think what we've come up with looks amazing. I really hope that it nails all the requests that you had.
That's the thing. It's like you could do so many different things with this cabinet.
Yeah, and hopefully what we suggested feels accessible to you.
So Marika writes, our living room layout is strange and the TV has to be in this corner. There's also a wall outlet where the previous owners had hung their TV, but I'm more of a TV stand girl. They previously had a smaller TV and I hung art behind it to cover up the outlet, but my husband recently bought himself a man-sized TV. Now my art looks super out of place hiding behind this giant TV. How should I cover up this outlet? P.S. The green paint will be changing to cream soon. And her style is mid-century cozy. The house is very 80s, so sometimes we also lean into that.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Okay, can I say something so bold?
Please.
Remove the outlet.
Just remove the outlet. Sounds like you own the house. We have a drywall patching video. You could just, I mean, I don't know actually electrical wise, you can just like throw it back into the wall.
Move it lower.
Yeah, move it lower, patch the wall. That's 100% what you should do.
No, it's in conjunction with that because I'm a fan of a wall-mounted TV above a TV unit.
Yeah.
But I think it looks really good in this corner. So
absolutely,
if this is the situation and maybe it works for the layout,
if you like it on the stand, I do think the scale here is working in your favor. Any smaller of a unit, and I would say we got to do something. But I think the scale is actually working here.
Yeah. Okay, so we're moving the outlet.
I think so. Like, I mean, again, you could suggest a gallery wall in that corner, but then I do think it's weird because your TV's covering this beautiful art, and then maybe there's a lot of big rectangles now we're looking at.
Yeah.
And it makes it feel unfinished, kind of. Like the TV's still just plopped on top of the thing you're trying to cover.
And if you really do not want to move it, or I don't know, maybe you are actually renting and this is not an option, I think if you're painting it cream, make a little panel that's going to just nicely cover that outlet. Or you can sometimes replace it with
just
a flat cover. It's like the outlet's no longer in use type of thing. It's like literally just a plastic cover. It's the same color. You'll barely notice it. And then if you want to put like a big plant behind the TV, it'll like partially cover that. But I don't think you want to make it a moment. Like don't put art, don't put mirror, like don't try to cover it. Just make it blend.
Distract from it.
Yeah. What they probably make is like, you know, the safety covers for babies.
Yeah.
And it literally fits in the plugs.
Yeah.
Like a plate.
Yeah.
And paint it the same color as your wall. I feel like this is really simplified by us. But sometimes, you know, like less is more. I don't know.
No, you need that sometimes. Solved. Wait, we need a stamp.
We need to get Nick to say solved.
Solved.
My husband and I are finishing our basement, and when we're sitting on the couch facing the TV, there's this space goes into this storage closet, which is definitely an eyesore, and we're looking for ways to hide it, but it's not a standard door frame, and I also think this is a vent, so we're looking for ideas on maybe how to do a curtain rod, whether it's from ceiling to wall, wall to wall, maybe something industrial looking. Any recommendations you have would be awesome. We also had our first kiddo, and there's this water area. I don't think this gets hot or anything, this shut-off valve, but looking for creative ways to cover it, hide it, just make this a little less of an odd space when we're trying to relax down here.
I know what I would do.
What would you do?
Talk to us.
I've done this in 2 different homes now, but a sliding door is a favorite of mine.
Yes.
It depends how big this hallway. Like, do you need that space to walk into?
I mean, whatever the wall is on the right, like that's obviously, you know, serving enough room currently. It would just be like extending it farther.
Yeah.
But let's hear from the group.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go the curtain route, I know I've seen curtain tracks that are adhesive as opposed to, so if you get something light enough weight. I don't know how it works, but presumably it does. It's out there on the market.
Is that how it works?
They advertise it such.
They
They
sell
say
it.
it works, so it must.
Yeah.
I don't know in her video if she was trying to suggest also like blocking off the hallway like this way.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think so.
Just close off that whole area.
Especially, if she's got a baby running around.
Don't go around the corner.
Just don't,
But I don't know how we
I'm
would do that with a
confused, yeah.
door.
I haven't really built a lot of doors, but I have taken areas like behind my toilet, in my toilet water closet. I like built a cabinet and just built it in and then like added the doors on it. And I'm like, oh, this kind of works. Like you don't need a proper door frame. Like I'm picturing something, maybe radio weave is just in my head today, but like a nice like wood frame, maybe some radio weave on there. And then it's just like kind of like saloon-y vibes either there, or honestly, I would just do it over the cabinet because I think in the distance that would be nice to have like this wood feature. And I think you can just mount, like, can you tell me? Can you just mount like hinges on this wall and this wall and it would work or no?
I mean, possibly.
There's still a world where you can just add like 2 pieces on the side that you are putting your hinges onto.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just losing some shelf space.
Like you're making a frame essentially.
Yeah.
Like there isn't a door frame there, but like let's just throw a piece of wood in there to get the distance so that when you open the door.
Yeah, your hinge isn't obstructed.
Mm-hmm.
nobody has to go past this area with the doors open. Like, this is the end of the road, right?
That's what I'm
So
asking.
we have to assume
if there's space enough to open the door, even if that means you're kind of trapped in there as you're accessing the closet.
And I'm picturing 2 doors, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't like totally be so hard.
And there's certainly ways to get like more and less complicated with this. Like I think a simple magnet closure would be easy.
Yeah.
Or you could really do like full on like door frame handles that open and all that.
Yeah.
Depending on how intense you want it to be.
Yeah, or like, okay, if we do want to go the curtain route, I feel like I've seen a lot of these like the stiff, straight curtain panels.
Yeah.
Instead of like a traditional curtain that we would all think of for a window. And those are like very sleek
It's
looking.
like my sliding door.
Yeah.
But it's like a thick.
Stiff curtain
Is
panel.
it like those IKEA ones?
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't put any curtain on this door frame area
Yeah.
to cover that.
Yeah.
I think it'll be worth your time to just cover it where
The storage
closet-
is.
Yeah, the storage space is. It's so nice that your eye can actually like lead into that room.
Yeah.
It'll feel so much more claustrophobic in that basement if you close off that entryway.
Yeah.
Especially, I can say from the workshop that I did in the basement, there is the blue curtain that curtains off there. And so from the other side coming down the stairs, the back side of that curtain is actually black.
Oh. Right.
So, it, you know,
Yeah, it's just,
unless there's a solution to have like a nice side on both sides of your curtain, it's kind of...
just a lot of curtains.
Yeah. Okay, great. Easy solves.
All right, we did it, guys. I want to know what you all think of our solves here for these DIY SOSs. Was there something that you would have suggested that we didn't think of? Let us know below.
And if you want to have your own problem submitted, I was like, space problem, I mean, whatever it is, for a DIY SOS episode, the link to that is in the description down below.
As always, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today.
And we will see you guys next weekend.
Bye.
Bye.